I just got a post from the Brown Investigation Bureau. They got a whole slew of cases from Providence ever since the sudden disappearance of Josiah S. Carberry. What could possibly go wrong?
Top 5 puzzles I did in Brown Puzzlehunt 2024.
So many dropping like flies. Josiah S. Carberry was going to teach about psychoceramics, or the study of cracked pots, on February 29th. But he didn't show up to lecture. After a month of searching for whereabouts, the Brown Investigation Bureau declared Josiah S. Carberry dead by murder, prompting a funeral service and a new employee orientation hosted by Bluenoir so teams can crack all those cases. It's a good thing I can work remotely with some fellows I've met at Mystery Hunt, as we can get pretty far despite having so many cases, many involving murders, including finding the secret identity of Matt Singe of the New York Times, as seen by the Oh, that's locked by a subscription via 3 of the games. The most notable and 5th place pick was a knockoff of Only Connect. As always, we're trying to find groups of 4, but there's a bit of a wrinkle. Every time we find a category, some of the remaining words may lose a letter. And thanks to another case of slow puzzle hunt websites, brute forcing my way through isn't viable. Not that it matters, because some of the categories we find ultimately lead to dead ends. Still, I can track the new words in a spreadsheet so my teammates can strategize in finding categories. The most intriguing one having an entry that is completely blank due to all the letters dropping out. Once we found all the categories and beat the other 2 games, we unlocked the subscription to immediately get the secret identity puzzle answer. I legit expected some extra puzzle. And there's some fine lines for puzzles and rounds. The cases of the Brown Investigation Bureau have some fairly unique structure. We got 3 major cases where each have some minor cases providing info. Some of the minor cases are standalone puzzles with their own answer phrase, but others get meta and make use of answer phrases from the feeder puzzles within. The first one we got was my 4th place pick of water lines. It looked like random lines with locales at first, but a teammate found that these lines are load lines, which tell how much a ship can carry while staying afloat. There are different indicators depending on climate, so naturally, we find each area's water types in a cool use of geography, all while ignoring summer as per the flavor text. And the letters we got spell out the answer word Titans. This and other feeder answers get used later in my 3rd place pick, the meta puzzle Whaling Ship. We need to find what happened to Mari given this grid here, and I noticed that the colored squares can be a place to fill in the feeder answer words along a path. Even without all the feeders solved, we can still anticipate feeder answers without solving the respective puzzle and take out the fill-in and finisher Need Dramatic to get that Mari got lost at sea on Transit Street. And that minor case clue is just one part of a major case where we have to track where the murders happened. Now, what on earth happened there? We later got to the major cases that incorporate info we got from the minor cases. My favorite major case and 2nd place overall was the case of data, partly from getting that done with only a few hours to spare. We're investigating a series of murders after a party via those audio recordings we got from the enumerated access resource. But that tech only allows access to the first 5 recordings of a word. So I'm off putting the dialogue in an organized spreadsheet while keeping eye of context clues to get a better idea on what happened. Eventually, some teammates spotted some dialogue sound effects matching that of our feeder answers, which made for convenient backsolves. And from the looks of it, there seems to be some mind-controlled tech shenanigan, but the sheer number of dialogue made it tricky to keep track of what to do next. But my teammates really pulled through when they found that the password gets the earworm, giving us a plan to stop any further murders. Still, the explanation seemed to go one ear and out the other, taking a Wait, I shouldn't say that. As it turns out, the dialogue implies that the professor and researchers had brain implants from their experiment, but there's a virus that gets them to act chaotically. Based on the diagram, the virus switches hosts anytime someone says the word pass, and the new host murders the old host shortly after, causing these sounds we got from those feeder answers. So yeah, this puzzle involves a lot of reading comprehension, and another bad case of AI here. Before my top pick, some honorable mentions. Shoot, primarily because of the pirate, get it? Burbs at Brown, civil mechanics that incorporate with the environment, especially for the in-person teams looking for those burbs. A penny for dreadful news. The way the roads are implemented, while hard to see, was clever. Ocean Wave Blues, couldn't believe this is a SpongeBob puzzle. The Thinking Chair, the structure not only made for an easy back solve, but also got me to realize that Blue's Clues hosts are solving meta puzzles with the kids every single episode. Committing financial crimes. Willie ran with the real-life complexity of tax filing to the point of parody, with the funniest part being the prime bottles alongside It's Everyday Bro. I like puzzles that I can solve. When looking back at the cases I have done, deciding first place is pretty clear cut. Showdown! We got 3 breakdowns of Pokemon battles in the Providence region, but these aren't ordinary battles like in the main games. Smogon has a series of metagames that change the battle mechanics, like reversing the type effectiveness chart or combining abilities. And these battles implement multiple metagames, 1 per turn. So the goal is to identify which terms get which metagames added based on what I observe with the moves. Like how Battle 1 had type effectiveness reversed due to Spark being super effective on a ground type, and the Uno reverse swing from the loser's game being implemented. Some of them really tested my ability to read the fine lines on how the metagame worked. But as with most hunt puzzles, I still need to extract an answer. We do get extraction instructions, but these require digging into the stats of each Pokemon. However, much of my Pokemon experience lies in the spin-offs, as I have yet to play any mainline game outside of Pokemon Legends Arceus, which don't use Pokemon abilities, let alone the fact that HP is displayed as a percentage rather than a number like in the main games. Fortunately, I am more than made up with my computer science skills that can bypass damage calculations via brute forcing all possibilities. These for loops came in handy in Battle 1 for damage percentages and Battle 2 for Vigoneering with Pokemon names, allowing me to pick out something that looks like a sensible phrase to A1Z26 or readout, resulting in signature move. But the tricky one was Battle 3, partly because of the considerations of what abilities were used. Poke abilities mean that all abilities are in play, and Partners in Crime involve abilities being shared, but Mix and Mega also involves inheriting abilities from the respective Mega Stone. After some trial and error with all those combinations, I found the decryption to Magikarp. So that means the puzzle answer is a signature move, Splash! The infamous no damage move of the Pokemon games, yet an indicator on when a murder happened in a data major case.
There's no doubt a lot to account for when analyzing Pokemon battles, but even with some of the tricks being less polished than in other Pokemon puzzles, it's still my top pick thanks to being able to use my variety of abilities. And that wraps up Brown Puzzle Hunt 2024. I really liked how many of the puzzles really fit in with the investigations, creating an immersive scenario, though there is no doubt a lot of reading involved. It takes a lot of patience and persistence when some puzzles are messy, especially with a slow website.
But with teammates on my side and an eye for what's ahead, we were able to get through the cases, including finding the culprit of the case of the slow website. Special thanks to Brown Puzzle Club in this Death and Mayhem detective work, and for viewers like you, thank you.